we are.
Yay!
Amazing, amazing. Great to see you. I
Thank
know this
you.
is taking up some of your very precious time today, and I'm so grateful for this.
Oh,
So what I'm going to do is I'll keep you for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to bring Noor in. So I'll let you go back to your day, and we'll
brilliant.
bring Noor in. So that's what we're going to do today. So
Yay.
amazing. Thank you so much for joining me, Patsy. You yourself are a mental health champion. You in particular focus on BAME, mental health, which I think is so important because there are very different needs. And I know you're going to talk to us about the event that's going on Sunday, the 9th of October, which is the Mental Health Champion event at the Waterside Centre. But we're also going to talk a little bit about what mental health championship really looks like. So tell me first a little bit about the rebranding event on Sunday, because I know that it used to be called Time to Change.
That's right. That's right. That's how I got involved with the Time to Change campaign, which has been running and is very much about reducing the stigma around mental health. The campaign is actually coming to an end, the national campaign, but in Northampton we decided we want to carry on because it's so important. So yeah, that's what the event on Sunday is all about. As you said, it's at 1 o'clock, and it's a really wonderful sort of community venue, purpose built. It's the Seat Community Centre and Youth Club. So that's at St James Mill Road, Northampton.
Fantastic. And I'm so excited. I get to speak there, and that's brilliant, really good. I'm going to be speaking about everyday mindfulness. Are you giving a talk this year as well?
I've left it for the others because I've talked before. I mean, if need be, I will. But there are so many people that have got things to say. There are so many of us that have got things to say. We've all got our stories.
Yes, and I think this is really important because whilst I come at it from the training and professional side of things, what we're actually going to be hearing on Sunday is a lot of lived experiences, things that people have been through and what helped them personally. And certainly as a practitioner, I think this is so important because I've even said it to you as well. I've said, what would you need me to say to you? And then you've turned around to me and said, well, sometimes I just need you to listen. Thank you. So why is lived experience such an important thing for even practitioners who have studied it to hear?
Yeah, I think there's something about somebody that has been where you've been. There's nothing that can be quite as useful as that. I mean, it happens in other things apart from mental health. If you know somebody that's, I don't know, been trying to lose weight, it's better to talk to somebody else that's going through the same journey. If you're training to do a marathon, which, I know you do.
Marathon has been there.
Yeah, but it's always good to have somebody alongside you. Yeah. It's the same with mental health. If you've just got somebody that knows what it's like, that's so helpful.
This is part of what you do as well, because you're a peer support worker too. So it's about saying to someone, I've been there and I've got through. What really does help in those situations? What do you think we can do? Say a friend comes to us and trust us with the fact that they're struggling. What
Look, like I've said to you before, just listening, just being there and listening, that's the really important thing. And then I guess like allowing them to talk, not trying to say, oh, it's all going to be fine, you don't need to, just listen and accept what they're saying and then get help. You don't have to be able to do it yourself. It's being able to signpost them to the help that's available, and there's always help available.
Yes. Now, you yourself have and are still working through a lot of experiences, and with that, what do you find has helped you the most when it comes to perhaps professional intervention, but also when it comes to the everyday things that you do to just keep that joyful outlook?
Yeah, it's for me, it's all about it's being aware of myself. That's the really important thing. Knowing myself, knowing when maybe things are sort of going on the slippery slope a bit and stopping it before it gets worse. So and prevention is much better. It's, you know, if we physically, if we keep ourselves healthy, then, and we keep fit and exercise, then we have better health. It's the same mentally. If we do things that make us feel good, that, you know, make sure we've got good boundaries, make sure that we express ourselves, all of those things can help with mental health. I mean, for me personally, I like to go for a massage. That's something I love, because that's physically it's good, but it, you know, touch is so important. And acting again, like, you know, I love acting. That's, you know, self-expression and company and everything. So yeah.
I think you point out two really key things there. And the first is, it's not necessarily that we have to go and sit down and speak to someone in a little quiet room or something like that.
No.
A lot of everyday hobbies and pursuits can make a real difference. But also the second point is you can stack the benefits. So when you talk about massage, touch is part of the relaxation side of things. And there is a thing called skin hunger. We can crave touch, but also with acting, it's not just the self-expression, but it's the doing it with other people as well, the building up, the bonding. There is a lot to be said about being able to stack those benefits up. What would you say to someone who says, you know, I'm really struggling, but there's no well-being stuff out there? Because I know people say this all the time. What do you say to them?
I think that it's a personal thing. That the well-being it's personal to you. You know, we don't all have to do the same thing. We don't all have to go running or jogging, or we don't all have to have pedicures or act. Or you do what it is, whatever brings you joy, and that's what you know. It's different for everybody. You know, I hate running, but but I love having a pedicure. You know, I love writing in my journal. That's something that helps me. It's finding for you what makes you feel good and doing it, basically.
I love what you've said there, because suddenly that's just whacked my whole ego out. Because I think the reason I get so upset about it is because I'm thinking, well, no one wants to listen to what I am offering. And actually, you're so right. If I'm offering acting to someone who needs acting, there's tons of people listening. If I'm offering a pedicure to someone who needs pedicures, again, it's doing it well, you're going to get your audience. And I think that's so important to remember. It is so individual. Now, Patsy, I do know that you're in the middle of a very busy day, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. But what I do want to end with you, and then I'm going to bring Noor in to come and chat with me as well, is, what is if you had one key message about how to promote your mental health every day, something maybe small that you can do or something we don't realize, what would that message be?
To promote good
your mental health.
My mental health. The thing for me has been to learn to, I mean, it sounds very twee, but it is about learning to love yourself. You know, it doesn't all happen overnight. Sometimes you just have to learn to put up with yourself, and then you learn to, you know, accept yourself. But that basically is it. And to do it like warts and all, you know, just as you are. Once you start to, you'll want to improve, you'll want to do things, but the first thing is to really accept yourself and accept your worth, you know, get to know your worth.
Yes, it's about almost undoing a lot of things that other people have put into our heads.
Yes.
And that is hard, isn't it? Oh, Patsy, thank you so much. I'm so excited to see you on Sunday. I will see you then. Thank you again for joining me, and I'm going to welcome in Noor. So thank you, Patsy.
Thank you. Sorry I have to dash.
No problem at all. You're working. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Oh, some lovely comments from Noor there. I'm just going to, I've invited, no, here you are. Now, just as Patsy was finishing, what she was talking about was learning to love yourself. It is actually quite difficult to do that. We do need to work quite hard. I'm going to give you a quick tip as I'm waiting for Noor. So Noor, your camera, you seem to be joining me, but yeah, there we are. Don't know whether your camera's on at the moment, but a quick tip for you. I can hear you. I can hear you. A quick tip to learn to love yourself is as follows. What I'd like you to think about is, as you look at yourself in the mirror, and you might say, well, my chin is a bit flabby, but I'm grateful because it allows me to talk to my loved ones. It might be my thighs are bigger than I want them to be, but I love them because it helps me run when I walk, when I take my dog out. The second thing that you say about yourself tends to be about what your body and you do for you, whereas the first thing tends to always be really superficial, and that unfortunately is not mentally healthy, but it seems to be what a lot of social media and outside influencers tell us. So now, welcome Noor. I had the pleasure of meeting you at this event last year, and you've been on the radio show with me. You've been talking about championing mental health. Welcome back. It's great to chat with you. I'd like to kick off with you with your wellbeing tips. What can we do, something we can do today to help our mental well-being?
Today and every day. Yeah. Hopefully you can hear and see me okay. Yeah. Yeah, Instagram newbie, so yeah, please be gentle with me, everyone. So first tip, I think the most important thing is setting yourself some reasonable quick wins, quick goals. And that, depending on where you are with your mental well-being, is, it could be just as simple as waking up at a certain time in the morning, early in the morning. It could be having a shower, having a bath, combing your hair, looking after yourself. Things as simple as that, quick wins and things. But as you know, and your audience knows, that when you are in a low mood, if you've got depression, if you've got anxiety, bipolar disorder, other illnesses that are affecting your mood, you don't want to do, I nearly swore, so I won't swear. You don't want to do much. You don't want to do anything. Sometimes you just don't have the energy or the motivation to get out of bed. So just doing that, is a goal, is an achievement, and you should pat yourself on the back just for doing that, for brushing your teeth. Okay, that's it sounds really simple, but for a lot of us, it requires an enormous amount of effort just to do even those sorts of simple little things that in normal day life we just take for granted and do sort of like almost in a robotic kind of way. So things like that, if you want to then start thinking about other things, so depending on your mobility and stuff like that, is try and find some time in the day, and in daylight hours as well, I'll explain that in a minute, is get out. Whether you've got, especially if you've got some green space near you, or if you're in blue space, and if you're not quite sure what blue space is, that means if you've got any kind of waterworks near you. I don't mean like Thames water or anything like that, or Anglian water. I mean if you've got a lake, if you've got a river near you, or if you're really lucky to live near the sea, whatever. It's that's blue space in a nutshell. Yeah, and green space, I think we all understand what that is. So if a park, a forest, or a little pocket park, where there are quite a few around Northamptonshire, just do that. Go out within your own mobility, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a longer walk, a brisk walk or a gentle walk. Get out there, get in contact with with nature, as it were. And I say try and do it in the daylight because now that the shorter days and longer nights are approaching. It's important to get a little bit, to do that in the daylight, because some of us you've heard of SAD. I'm guessing some people, the seasonal adjustment disorder. So they need some like natural sunlight as well. So it's really important to do that. By all means, if you prefer going out in the evening and you're not too worried about that, do that as well. Or hey, if you've got the time, do it 2 or 3 times in the day. It's all good for you. It's good for your health. physical health and your mental health. Yeah, and again, you just do it within whatever restrictions and mobility that you have. Those
I like
are
that.
two
I
elements.
really like that, because what you're actually talking about is backed up by science as well. So you're talking about the little wins, the brushing your teeth, actually the achievement of that particular thing, when that was your goal, it will give you a dopamine hit, which actually makes you feel better and motivates you to do the next thing. So you're so right to focus on that. And when you're talking about going out in the fresh air, we are biophilic. We are naturally drawn to these beautiful landscapes, environments, anything natural looking that makes us feel better. If we're out there with a friend, it boosts our oxytocin. Daylight boosts serotonin, which is our rest digest hormone, or neurotransmitter rather, and that means we sleep better, we digest better. So you are absolutely spot on with those particular suggestions. Now I've got you, see, something we talked about in the past was men and mental health, because men don't like reaching out a lot of the time. Now, I totally understand that men and women and people deal with things in different ways. But if you are a man and struggling and wanting to reach out, but you don't know who to turn to, what can you do? What can you do?
Yeah, it's so stereotypical male. Yeah, let's use the generic type. Yeah, is strong, butch, stiff upper lip, don't show weaknesses, don't cry, etc., etc., etc. And basically, a lot of men are pressure cookers about to go off, and it's you hold in so much emotion, so many challenges, so many issues that are going around and around in your mind. Sometimes you just don't know, whether you're coming or going. You don't know what priority to look at, and you don't know which way to turn. You're basically not be able to think rationally, and it's when you are in a rational. It's good to have a list. Whether you keep it or a physical list on a post-it note on your fridge or whatever, of maybe emergency contacts or emergency friends to ring, something like that, and say, look, someone who understands what you're going through, or what the challenges you face, and they can talk to you. But also, it's really, really important, if you are like that, is to try and confide in maybe up to about half a dozen of your closest family and friends, yeah, and have them as your support network. Okay, and ask them, every now and then, especially if they've not heard from you for a while, is just to check in on you. And I think you mentioned this a little bit earlier, is the ask twice.
Yeah.
Do ask twice. We all do it. How are you? I'm fine. Okay, full stop. See you later. No, okay. If someone's not been in contact, they've been having challenges, yeah, or they're struggling with their mental well-being, yeah. And also, you can usually tell, even by not being in the same physical space as them. You can tell from their voice, or if you're in a virtual conversation, you can tell just by the demeanor or the timbre in their voice that there's something's not quite right. So yeah, just dig a little bit deeper, especially if you're good friends or you're a close family unit. Yeah. So yeah, no, I've noticed a few odd behaviours, or you've not done X, Y, and Z like you normally do. Is everything okay? Do you want to just share anything with me, and then maybe we can just talk about it and discuss some kind of options? Yeah. Yeah, and just keep checking with them about that, and trying to get them to open a conversation, and also give them the space. And what I mean by space is, don't fill in the silence, the gap. Yeah, the silence gap. Don't fill that in just because it's uncomfortable. For a lot of us, it is uncomfortable. So how are you? You don't look really well lately. Long silence. And then you feel like you've got to say something else to try. No, they may be thinking about how to say it to you, how to open up. They may be trying to get the courage to say, I am feeling absolute poo. Yeah. And if you just think back as when you've been in that situation, to find the right words, to find the courage to come out and actually say to another human being that, I'm not strong at the moment.
Mm.
And yeah, so give them that space to talk. Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, we're not talking hours, but you know, if it's a minute, 2 minutes, don't worry about it. That's absolutely fine. But it's just reassuring that they also know that you're there and you care. And if they don't want to open up, you leave the door open for them and just say, look, just come back. You know, we can pick this up again at another time.
You've made two very key points there, which I just want to reiterate, and that is, if you are the loved one or the close friend, is to look for changes in baseline of behavior, because so often we'll read in books, oh, if someone's depressed, they will do blah, or if someone's stressed, they will do that. Well, actually, no, people might behave in those ways anyway. It's the change from what is the norm that will make you notice. So that's one thing if we're watching. And the second point that you make, which is very important, and that is, don't just talk to anybody, because you need to be able to talk to someone who will give you the space, who will listen to you, who won't make it all about them. That's really important. And so, like you suggest, having that list is really key. Now, I know that you're all in the middle, you're in the middle of the day, Patsy's in the middle of the day as well. I would just like to close with one key message. What one key message would you like people to know, or perhaps people don't know enough when it comes to looking after our mental health? What would you like us to know?
I'd like them, anyone that is struggling, finding it really difficult, is just to let you know, you're not alone. There are lots of people out there. It is so common. What you are going through, I mean, I don't mean to diminish it in any kind of way. What you are going through is just so common, so prevalent in our communities, in our society, in the whole wide world. Yeah. Okay. What you are going through, there are loads of people out there. So you've got to go with family and friends, but they may or may not understand, depending on, you know, their background, their knowledge and experience. Yeah. But there are some wonderful human beings out there in listening services, in support groups. So like Mind have got listening services. Samaritans are absolutely wonderful. Loads of other support groups. We've got the Northamptonshire Mind and Kettering Mind crisis cafes that you can go to. People who understand, people with lived experience, yep, who will understand exactly what you're going through and will give you support and advice in a non-judgmental way. You are not alone. And there are people who you will never ever meet in your whole life, who are waiting on the end of a telephone call to give you that support that you need.